Yeah, so we're back again. Your hustling homie, D Jackson, all about making things happen. I just wanted to respond to a question. So I just got a question. How do you know when you're a successful entrepreneur? I think there's different levels of entrepreneurship. There's different levels of owning your own business. But the reality is entrepreneurship can be very ugly, very, very tough because you're grinding every day. You're solving problems. There's a lot of issues. You're basically just sometimes entrepreneurship is like it's like chewing on glass and you got to swallow it. This is at the beginning. Like it can be very, very painful. You know, a lot of people who commit suicide in entrepreneurship because the depression is very high. Depression can be high, I think, when people come in with the wrong expectation. When people have these entrepreneurship tendencies, if you haven't sold anything as a kid, like when before 18 years old, if you didn't actually go out and sell something on your own, it's not in your blood. If you were a kid and you were out looking for something to do, looking for a way to hustle, entrepreneurs are resourceful. They're savvy. Even if they don't have a lot of money, they figure things out. If you're not naturally that person that's going to be resourceful and figuring out solving problems, then maybe you just have entrepreneur tendencies. Maybe you just, and that's fine. You might be just a great salesperson. Then you might be good for doing work for hire, contract work, but not necessarily building a business and really coming up with a blueprint. And also as entrepreneurs, some of the best ones in history, what they've done is they team up with another partner. So for example, you might be great as the visionary person that likes to just, sell and create the goal, the vision of what you're doing and get people excited and to sell. You might need a person that can actually execute, which is like your CEO that actually does the grind, the technical aspect, and they're doing the book. They're like really looking at the books and the numbers, and they're more technical than you of actually executing on a day-to-day basis, kind of like a management. Most entrepreneurs use that. They have that person. So you want to have that person, but you also want to identify your skill set. What are you really good at? What do you really, really do? Because I believe there's too many people that get into entrepreneurship for the wrong reasons. You're missing out because you're playing the wrong game. I love the game so much. I would rather sleep on the floor or sleep in my car to build and grow my vision. But I would rather do that than to take this $100,000 job salary at this gig that is going to take all of my time and it's not going to afford me the time to really build my business. A lot of people, when you're transitioning, you want to start your own business, but you're at a job and they say, you know what, we're going to give you a raise. And they say, well, I work at this job. Many times, many of these jobs make it harder for you to get into your business because you get comfortable with that money you're making. You get comfortable with that income. Like I had a job, I wasn't even making a lot. I was on like $50,000 a year, which is not a lot of money. But at the time, it was more than what I was making in my other job. So I had got comfortable making $50,000 a year. I had to pray for God to make something happen. And fortunately, I got fired. Actually, they eliminated my position. That's what it really was. But it happened in such a way where I was able to get unemployment, was able to get some of that unemployment money and then invest in myself, buying different things that I could sell over the internet. I started out selling neckties. I found out that neckties was only good around like Christmas and Father's Day. So I quickly got out of neckties because I realized I don't like selling stuff to men. Many times it's hard for them to make that transition to be married to their business because they're cheating on their business by working at a job, cheating on their business by doing 10 different other businesses on the side, cheating on their businesses by only giving their business one day of the week, but they're giving their job, they're working hard on the jobs and they're working on themselves. And so an entrepreneur, you're that person that you're going to go out there, you're going to be resourceful, get things done, you're going to be investing in your personal development. You're going to be reading the books, going to find a mentor, find somebody who's already done it. Now I'm going to tell you one of the best things that I did that helped my career was I worked 2 internships. It was my senior year in college, senior year, I graduated. Basically 2 years where I didn't get paid any money. It was the type of internships where I would work around all day. Like I had a recording studio I worked at called Pressure Point Recording Studios in Chicago. was a multi-million-dollar facility. You had Grammy Award artists come in. At the time, you had like the R. Kelly's, DMX, Beyonce's, people like that. And then I had another internship where it was in marketing. I worked with a company called Shrewd Marketing Promotions, where we had clients like Universal Music Group that were like in the movie industry. So I had to promote like movies that would come out. I had to promote albums that would come out. So I would meet the artists around the clock. And it was dirty, it was grimy. I was in the streets, you know, doing street team promotion, putting up flyers, posters, going to the stores, putting up flyers, posters, going to the nightclubs, dressing up the clubs. And I wasn't even paid any money, nothing, not a dollar. They weren't even really buying us food, you know. And then I was working at the studio for like 3 months. I'm just there, literally sitting there at the front desk from 2 p.m. to maybe 7 a.m. the next morning. But after I put in that time for 3 months, you know, I worked close with the owners of the business. So I really got to see, and a lot of it was very different from what I was being taught in school. I would look at the people who owned the studio. I remember they used to smoke weed, right? I mean, I'm talking about a lot of weed. Like, they would get really high. But it was interesting because the manager, the guy who was really running it, he never let the weed affect him though. Like, he would be on the phone and the guy would be closing deals. He didn't sound high at all. Now, I would just be watching this from afar and I was like, man, how is this dude closing these major deals and contracts and he's high as hell on the phone? But some people perform better when they're high. It was really about knowing your strengths. He knew that he was good at management. He knew he had this great talent to be able to recruit, you know, a good team, good staff around him. It's one of the best things that you can do as an entrepreneur. Sometimes is take a step back. Instead of starting your business up right now, if you got $5,000-$10,000, yeah, that's so great. For many people, I say jump into it and do it. But for sometimes you got to evaluate yourself, because sometimes it's better to take a step back before you start your business and maybe intern or work alongside a successful business that's already doing what you want to do and watch them. You know, do it for 6 months. If you can, do it for a year and watch them, because I guarantee you when you look at how they're closing deals, well, one, it's going to give you confidence, and 2, you get some resources from them. 3, is going to give you some structure and organization because you see how they do their operations. Consider that. Sometimes that's better than to taking $5,000 and going into an industry you know nothing about, and everybody's not built for that. You got to have a certain stomach for that, certain mindset, certain will. It's about you're more in love with helping people in your business and grinding and doing that passion than you are with buying a new car. You're more excited about that, your business, than the money. You know, like, and you have to be that way, because if not, somebody could just hire you and just have you working for a salary. And maybe it's just not in your DNA, you know, to be an entrepreneur. And that's fine too, because everybody got a lane. Everybody has a lane. I know Gary Vaynerchuk, he talks about how the number 12 person at Facebook, who was the secretary, probably way more better off doing what she did than that if she would have went and started her own business and didn't even, you know, stay at Facebook. And sometimes the best things to do is just surround yourself by people that's really doing it on a day-to-day basis. You know, how get you some entrepreneur friends, a mentor, and grind it out, and grind it out. But personal development all the time. But tune in anyway. We're gonna wrap this thing up because it's time to get paid, get some money. Yeah, leave some comments, subscribe to the page, and I look forward to building with you in the future.